Hello and welcome to the UnCalled Four. We have a lot of good woo to get to tonight. This is going to be so much fun. We've got a whole bunch of stupid videos to watch and some great woo to pick on. This is going to be so much fun. So let's just get right around the room to get started. And hello, B. How are you tonight?
Aimee, I think you just started with me because I'm the loudest one out of the group. Since, we got Dick on half mute over there. No, I'm doing great and glad we're getting onto a show tonight and miss talking with all you guys.
Oh, thank you. I've missed talking to you guys too. I know it's hopefully everybody can get their bodies back to where they're supposed to be and get going again. So how about you, Miss Vishanti?
Trying to beat the heat, doing cleaning in some small bursts, and I guess ignoring soccer.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that game was today, wasn't it? I forgot. Yeah, I did see it, but it wasn't a good outcome, but it's okay. But I'm glad you're being able to beat the heat and everything and hanging in there so far.
I'm trying. It's not always successful, but I'm trying.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully you'll be able to succeed some more, and hopefully it'll cool down for you soon.
Southern California, gotta love it.
Yay. And how about you, Astra? How are you tonight?
I'm doing really well. I just got back from a trip to the North Cascades where I hiked up a 6,000-foot elevation gain mountain in 95-degree heat. It was a bad choice, but I'm still alive.
Wow.
So it could have been worse.
Yes, it could have.
Were you anywhere near the what is it called? The fault, I forgot the word.
San Andreas?
No, it's the Cascadian sub something.
Cascadia fault line.
Yeah, but it's anyways. Yeah, and there's a more complicated word for it. Were you anywhere near that? Were you over by the coast like that?
No, we weren't by the coast. We were in eastern Washington by the national park. So
the part. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I went there with fishing one time when I lived in Oregon for a whole 3 months. And it is absolutely beautiful out there.
It's gorgeous out there. We were so happy to be there. Going on a camping trip without air conditioning for a week during a historic heat wave, not the best choice, but it was really fun, and I highly recommend everyone else go, but maybe during not a historic heat wave.
Copy that.
That's awesome. So what do you guys think? Should we get right into the videos and see what we have?
Well, how are you doing, Aimee?
Oh, well, me, thank you. I am actually doing very well, thank you. We had a good quiet day here. It was nice out, so Matt got to go out and do his scootering, and he's all ready to go back to school tomorrow, so he's excited.
Ooh, school time. It's
exactly.
Called Mom Break.
Yes, it is, which is great. Yeah. Plus, I looked for some movies, for some videos today for tonight, so I had fun. But then also I got, my brain started smoothing out again, so I had to gotta find something to make it better.
So is he going in literally or virtually to school?
He's going in person.
Oh,
so
good. Yeah. They need some social time. I feel like all these kids been locked up too much and couldn't see their friends. I mean, we all do it online and they're used to that, but it's still not the same,
Right.
So I think it's good for them. Yeah.
Yeah. And if they're vaccinated, or if most of them are vaccinated, at least it should be decently safe.
Exactly. And that's what we were thinking about too. He's fully vaccinated, has been since the beginning of June, so he's good enough to go. And I still, a lot of people don't wear masks at the school, but he still wears his and he wants to, and that's perfectly fine with me.
Sometimes it's good to be a little have a little wall up there,
Absolutely.
Make you feel a little safer. That's fine.
Absolutely. And I told him, I said, nobody's allowed to make fun of you for still wearing your mask. Make sure, you say, look, no, I want to wear my mask. I feel comfortable with that, so I'm going to. And he does, which is good.
Good,
So.
good. Well, you
And
can always
then-
get him one that says "It's my choice." Like I have one that I actually purchased off of my own. I'm not trying to tout my own Teespring, but I did make my own, and it says "Be respectful." And so, if I'm going out somewhere nice, I have that one I put on, and you know, that's all. Just be respectful, everybody. That's it.
Exactly.
Also, I've decided that even post-COVID, even though I'm fully vaxxed, I'm going to be wearing my mask around like every time I travel because I just didn't get like the regular flu or a cold or like anything else while I was wearing my mask. And it also is great for like fire season.
Yes.
Like, I think we should wear masks when we travel. It's a great way to prevent the spread of disease, especially if we're going to a new place.
Absolutely. And another thing that I noticed too, and allergy season was a little bit milder this year because we went out with masks on. So that helped a lot. So, so that's another plus to it as well. So that's why I said, if he wants to, fine, because that poor thing, he sneezes all the time. So it's actually cut that down too. So it's a good thing. Yeah. So we've got some.
Sorry, I was trying to talk and I was muted. Let me try that again. Oh, mute or unmute? That is the question. Yeah. So I think it's, it's good that everything's opening back up, and everybody's getting to see everybody. And I just want to say, like, everybody, we're going to have another wave of that. So don't get too excited. Like they called that like a year ago and now they're saying it again. So, they'll probably shut us down to like half again for a couple months. And, I think we're going to do a little roller coaster shit with that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Until, everything starts to go the right way. I think so too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we've got some real stupid for us tonight. So should I read the list off, guys, and see what we have?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we have video number 1 is a complete beginner's guide to crystals, her biggest tips. Oh, boy. Number 2 is crystals, how they work and crystal meanings. Number 3, yeah, I know. Number 3, cults, taboos, and twisted faith. The dark world of cults, true crime documentary, real stories. Number 4 is don't do these things with your crystals. Crystals, do's and don'ts. I know. I thought of some. Yeah, I know. How to cleanse and charge crystals. What is the difference and how often should I do it? Then we have, I tried to improve my life using crystals. And then we have the last one is viral TikToker breaks down conspiracy theories, which looked interesting too. So we've got quite a choice there. So what do you all think?
Whew. I'll let the quiet ladies in the back decide.
Okay.
What do you think, Astra and Shanti?
Just the tips?
Oh no. No.
Yeah. So the one, the one with the biggest
so many
tips.
ways.
Yeah. A complete beginner's guide to crystals, her biggest tips. That sounds good. Can you key that up for us, please, Dick?
Ready to go.
Thank you.
Woot.
Woohoo.
Right?
Did you just buy your first crystal at Anthropology and now you want to learn more? Well, here is your complete beginner's guide to crystals. Hey everyone, my name is Courtney Violetta and I am what I would call a mystical millennial. If you are one too, or you're just wanting to learn more about crystals, astrology, spirituality, holistic healing, maybe even some psychic readings and stuff, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. And let's just get on into this video. So first we're going to talk about how to find and choose choose a crystal. Most of the time when we're just getting into crystals and stuff, we'll tend to buy one at some random store like Anthropology or Urban Outfitters or something like that to just dip our toes in. What you really want to do is go to a metaphysical shop. You'll have so many options of crystals to choose from. So just Google metaphysical shop.
Or just a rock shop. They'll be
and see
cheaper
what
there.
comes up.
I was
A big
gonna
tip
say,
that
you
I
could just
have
go
is
to a
make
shop
sure you
that
get
sells
good
rocks and
vibes
crystals.
when you go into one of those
Exactly.
places. Good
Okay,
vibes meaning like
Paul- Okay, I'm gonna say something positive before I say something about the woo. Okay, there, does that balance it out?
Sure.
Okay, I love her hair color. My hair used to be bright auburn like that. I kind of miss it. I might go back to it. I don't know, but it looks gorgeous. So does her eyes. Like her eye
Yeah.
makeup, it is on fleek.
Her hair and
Love
makeup
it.
is very on point.
Like
Agreed.
living for it.
Super
all right.
pretty.
Now, that being said, they're just rocks. They're pretty rocks, and you can feel nice while looking at them because they're pretty, but they don't have magic powers.
Yes.
Exactly. It's just a neat rock. That's all it is. And they do look pretty sitting in a windowsill with the light shining through them because they make little rainbows, but that's about all you get out of them.
Prisms.
Yep,
They look-
exactly.
They make me feel pretty when I wear them because they're shiny.
Yeah.
We
like shiny. Oh, and we just got a super chat. Thank you very much from NANA for $6.66. It says Crystal meth. Hail Satan. Thank you.
Oh
so
my
much.
god. Okay
That's
now.
brilliant.
Okay now. Chat getting riled up already. Yeah, you know, I could say that I grew up out in the country and there was rocks and crystals everywhere. We dig a hole, we'd find some quartz or something. There was always something, you know. And I don't remember ever picking one up and going, "Oh, this feels great in my hand." No, it was like, "Oh, that's pretty," and then you chuck it aside. You keep going. And I guarantee you, any place that there's happy or bad, I'm sorry, let me change that. Bad stuff happening, there's probably some kind of crystals within some vicinity of it. So it's really not doing it. I mean, that right there proves it's not doing a damn thing.
Exactly. Yeah, we have big quartz deposits up here, and we have a lot of garnets too. Sometimes you'll find some, and they're gorgeous, and I love looking at them, but they do nothing. They just like any other rock, it just kind of sits there.
Yeah, they are formed by their environment. Boom, there you go.
There, that's it. Done.
Right.
We
guys-
can all go home now.
I want to reference a comment from the chat. Heat Shield asked, "We're going to a corporate-owned mall for spiritual crystals. Immediate fail." And honestly, I think this is a beautiful step forward. I mean, you've heard of rainbow capitalism, but now we have crystal capitalism. And I just think, you know, pandering to the woo it's really highlighting a minority community, and it may be performative, but I think it should be appreciated as a step forward.
I just laughed so hard. Purple Rhymes with Orange said, "Well, you can't find quartz in Europe anymore. It's all liters now."
Oh,
Oh, perps. Why?
Iconic.
That's awesome. We just got another one too for $14.99 Australian. Trish Blythe says, "Shout out to everyone here from the Debate Flat Earth and More Discord server. Yay! Thank you so much. I appreciate it."
Thanks, guys. That's a good start.
Yes,
A lot of compliments being thrown out there. We appreciate that.
that's right. We do. Thank you so much, everyone.
You ladies ready to move on and watch a little bit more of this?
Yes, please.
People that
Maybe we
work
can
there
see
are
more nice
to
hair.
just feels light and airy. As for first crystals, I always recommend getting tumbled stones first because you're really able to utilize them on the go. You can always purchase larger stones for
I really need her to
space,
give me
but
makeup tips
usually
because
tumbled
her eye makeup
stones
is
are
gorgeous.
the entry point into
pretty.
your crystal collection. So when you go to a metaphysical shop, you might be overwhelmed with all of the options of crystals that you can choose from. The best way to do it is to kind of just go in blind. See what different stones call to you. Which ones are you really drawn to? What colors and shapes?
They're
and
not
different
calling to you,
designs
they're not
within the
alive.
stones that call to you. The stone that
Hey,
you
you're
are
drawn
most
to it
drawn
just like you are
is
the nice
what
shirt on
you
the
need
rack
in your
at
life.
Kohl's,
We're
you know?
usually drawn to
Yeah.
different stones because of the different properties that they have, and the properties of the stone you
Orange is
choose
our
are what you're
favorite
needing
color.
in your life at that time. So before you go into a metaphysical shop, if you already know what you need a healing property for, you can always Google the stone that's good for that and go there and purchase that as well. Tumbled stones are usually pretty cheap, so if you already go there with the intention of buying a certain one, definitely still look and see which ones are calling to you because you probably need them more than the one you originally set out to go find. So once you find a type of stone that's calling out to you, what you can do is look through all of the ones and find the one that really calls to you, you know? Which one are you really drawn to? Which design within the stone do you think is the most beautiful? Get really quiet in your mind. You can hold the stone in your hand, see if it feels good, if you feel calm. That's how you know that's your stone. If you can't find a good metaphysical shop near you, the one that I love to go to is like 2 hours away. I also sell crystals on my Etsy shop. So
Okay,
you can always
pause
take
it,
a look
pause
over there
it.
and see.
I have to say something. Okay. First of all, you can get a tumbler for those smaller stones for like 40 or 50 bucks. And it will, if you really decide you want to buy crystals, it will pay for itself in the first 3 purchases. The first 3, anything you buy, it'll pay for itself.
Yeah,
It's
but
better
they're
to do
so
that than
loud.
because you can get, well, yeah, but you know, I'm assuming people have room for a shop. Okay, maybe I shouldn't assume that. Second of all, what I was going to say earlier, and I totally forgot what I was going to say. You know, they've had shops for eons that sell crystals and rocks and geodes and quartz and all that stuff. It's always been around. The thing is it's getting more popular again, just like bell bottoms and denim jackets. So now all these big corporations are going to make some serious bucks off of this crap. And they set up a cool shop and they burn some incense and play the cool music. And I've just watched people get sucked right into it, you know?
Yeah. I've definitely felt rocks calling to me. As someone in the chat said, the same way a shirt on the rack calls to me, or a piece of pie calls to me over a different type of pie. Like, sometimes you just like pretty rocks. It doesn't mean that they're special or medicinal, or like, seriously, please go with real medicine. Please don't use rocks as medicine.
No, yeah, really don't. I mean, I've been called to a rock before, you know, like somebody tried to hit me in a parking lot and, well, didn't try to, they just weren't looking and almost hit me in a parking lot. And I wanted to go over and grab that big rock and throw it at them, but I didn't, but it called to me.
Been there.
Definitely kept saying, please pick me up. Anyways, that's all I had to say. Carry on when you're ready.
If any of those are calling out to you as well. So once you get your crystal, you have to cleanse it. Crystals hold energy, so if they have been in the hands of someone who had a bad day or just have like a bad vibe
You're not
about
ready
them,
to
that
use
stone
right
can
off the
hold on to
shelf?
their energy. It can also hold on other people's past intentions for it, which we'll talk about in a second. So you want to cleanse your stone. So there are a few different ways of doing this. I'll talk you through my favorite way of doing it first. So definitely buy some sage when you go to the metaphysical shop. They're usually like about $3, and there's many different ways you can utilize sage in your home anyway. So the first thing that I recommend doing is saging your stone. All you have to do is light the sage, hold the stone in your hand, and immerse the crystal within the sage's
That looks
smoke.
like the
Personally, that's just
biggest
what I find to be
joint
most
I have
effective,
ever
but
seen
there
in
are
my
a few
life
other ways you
besides
can do it.
Cheech
One
and
other way that
Chong.
I've done is on a full moon.
Also,
Sometimes I'll
non-indigenous
set out a jar
people,
of
please
water
stop
so
buying
that it
all
can
the
be
indigenous people's
blessed
white
by
sage.
the moon's
Thank you.
energy. So sometimes I'll just dip my stones within that water, and then I save that water throughout the whole month. So sometimes if I buy a new stone, I'll just dip it within that water as just kind of like a blessing, like all of the negative energy is just gone, you know? But if when you buy the stone, it's also near a full moon, you can leave the crystal outside under the light of the full moon, or you can leave it on a windowsill that will get some of the moonlight. Another thing you can do is take your crystal and kind of bury it in the earth, or just rub some dirt on it.
Didn't we just clean them?
And this makes it become recharged with the earth's energy. Whatever cleansing method you do, it's important
Now you're gonna
to
need
also
Dawn
use
and
the
a scrub
visualization
brush.
technique of creating a light around you. So what I do always whenever I'm using like a visualization for different things is I imagine a bright white light coming down from the top of the universe all throughout the stars and the planets. all the way to the top of Earth.
Can you pause?
Yeah, it's
The
You said
universe
imagine.
has the top? The top of the universe? What?
Do they realize
Yeah.
that our light comes from the sun and not the top of the universe?
The top?
It's killing me.
That's that's not how that. No.
Did anybody else notice when she was like talking about going to the shop or whatever, and she was like, "And there you go," and she looked away from the camera, and I thought, you don't believe yourself right now. Did anybody else see that?
I actually
also
did.
very
She nervous laughed and looked away. It was so like, I'm lying right now.
I'm confused as to why you need to cleanse stones if it's in a metaphysical shop, because everyone going in there theoretically has good intentions.
Ooh, touche.
I'm also just. You bury it. Where does she think you got the rocks from if you're going to bury them in the earth to imbue them with the earth's energy? Like, were the rocks just floating somewhere, like in the middle of the universe? And you got to put them at the bottom? Like, what? They come from the earth.
Also, if you decide to bury them, what if you bury them where someone is buried? Wouldn't that put negative energy in it? Because it's a dead bodies right there. I mean, you could be someone's cat could be buried right next to where you bury your rocks. Is that going to throw a bad vibe onto it? I don't know.
That's true. Or
What
where
if you-
your dog buries his favorite bone. I don't know.
Or
you know.
or there's dog poop. Exactly. See, there's so many variables here. You know, what if a deer peed there? Does that make it more natural?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point.
Either way, you might want to sanitize that rock and also yourself when you're done. I really think Purell is a good option. Maybe just some soap and make sure you wash your hands for 30 full seconds after you're done touching all these crystals after imbuing them with deer pee.
Oh, not a good
It's a
time to
good
pick your
old
teeth with your
index
fingers, folks. Not a
Yes.
good time.
No,
Ooh.
that's brilliant. Oh, and I just got sent something too about keeping away computer viruses with malachite. Malachite is a transformational crystal that lets you live life more intensely under its influence. Some people believe it will become one of the most prized healing stones of the century. And placed on your desk, malachite will soak up some of the electromagnetic pollution emitted by your computer and other appliances.
Sure.
You can make it
Wait.
your own personal guardian
Wait.
against viruses that can attack your computer via the
Electromagnetic pollution is just light pollution.
I know.
Are you an astronomer? Your computer doesn't give off enough light to wreck your telescope. Like, just put an umbrella over it. That'll cover it. Like, light pollution
Literally.
isn't killing people. It's messing with some birds and some telescopes.
Oh my god. And the cure is brilliant. You got to pick up your stone and hold it firmly in your hand to feel its power and purifying abilities. Ask it to soak up any negativity from your office space. I'm sorry, I keep laughing. And send out strong, positive, energetic rays around your computer to keep it virus free. Circle the stone around the computer twice daily, morning and late afternoon.
Oh my god, I just realized I could make a killing selling malachite to people for anti-5G.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to shout out Gary Bennett for sending me that. Thank you so much. That's just a riot. Thank you. Yeah,
So
should we
have
keep
some
going,
more
please? Yes, please.
Earth down into my head, throughout my feet, out through my hands. As you're like saging your stone, you can do that visualization technique. If you're burying it in the earth, you can do that too. It just adds a lot more power to the cleansing. Also, you should cleanse your stones every month under the full moon anyway. Just leave them on your windowsill, or you can just sage them once a month to keep their energy really strong. Another component to working with crystals that is really overlooked is setting an intention for it. Crystals want to work for you, but you have to really tell them what to do. So what you can do is hold your crystal in your hands, close your eyes,
Go to
and take
hell,
a few
Crystal.
deep breaths. Tune into your faith, whatever really feels good to you. If you're religious, God, if you're spiritual, the universe.
Feelings.
If you associate more with a scientific connection, you can also connect with 0 point energy. Whatever you want to call it, just tune into something that's greater than yourself.
Wait. Sorry. Tune into science, 0 point energy. That's not, no, that's not science. There's nothing.
It may be science on the Flash.
Ooh. On the Flash, they talk about getting up to high velocity speeds. When my wife and I used to watch The Flash together, we would make it a drinking game and often not be able to get through the episode.
I mean, they had 0 point modules on Stargate Atlantis.
Oh god. Well, it was on the internet. It must be true.
They were scientists on Stargate Atlantis. Gosh.
Yeah, absolutely. All those doctors on Grey's Anatomy. Anywho.
This connects you with your highest vibration. Aloud or in your head, you can say, I ask that the highest vibration of love and light connect with my highest self to clear all unwanted energy or any previous programming. This crystal now holds the intention of blank. So it can be, this crystal now holds the intention of psychic development or self-love, whatever you want. You can add up to like 3 different intentions for your stone because they do a lot of different things. Once you're
It's
done,
like a
with
genie,
your
like
intention
3
setting,
wishes.
say thank you 3 different times. This emphasizes to the universe that
They're
what you're
not
asking for
alive.
already exists. So now on
They
to
don't
how
have
to
feelings.
use tumbled stones. The easiest way to use tumbled stones is to meditate with them. Let's say you want to heighten your psychic abilities or open your third eye chakra. I'm saying that because my psychic development pack on my Etsy shop is the most popular, so I'm assuming that's something that a lot of people want to do. And that's how I really got into crystals in the first place. So there are a lot of different stones that help with psychic development, but just a few includes lapis lazuli, amethyst, labradorite, citrine, clear quartz, and many more. So what you can do is take your stone of choice and just place it on your third eye as you're laying down to meditate. Another thing that I
This
like to do
seems
is to
super
put peppermint
appropriative.
oil on my third eye chakra because that really emphasizes while I'm meditating that space. So I'm really focused on my third eye. If putting peppermint oil directly on your forehead or on your skin in general is irritating, you can always take your favorite oil that you use on your skin and just put a few drops of the peppermint oil in that to kind of dilute it. And then put that
Also,
little
yes,
drop
this is
on
very
your third eye
appropriative.
chakra. And then what I recommend doing is a guided meditation for psychic development. You can find a ton of these on YouTube. My favorite meditation app is called Insight Timer.
Now
have
she's a
tons
pharmacist
of
and telling
guided
people how to mix
meditations.
things.
That's how I got into meditating in the first place. Also, I'm thinking about making some guided meditations and putting them on my website. So if that's something you're into, let me know in the comments down below because I would really like to do that one day. Another way to use tumbled stones is to carry them in your pocket throughout the day. I know it's summer, but in winter I always
Is that a
carry
crystal in your
crystals
pocket, or
in
are you
my
just happy to
pockets and
see
just
me?
hold them, and when I'm walking around town or in the
Both.
city, I'll just kind of focus on what the intention
Is this
for that
just
stone
B-roll
is
of her
as I'm
walking her dog?
throughout my life. For example, when I first got into crystals, I would carry a lapis lazuli stone in my pocket when I was living in New York City. And as I walked around the city, I would imagine that same white light coming through me, out through my hands and into the stone. So as I'm walking, I'm still visualizing that
Oh,
and
she looks
imagining
great as a
that
blonde,
stone
too.
really working my third eye and my crown chakras. That way I'm vibrating
You know,
and I'm connected to the higher
this cannot
realms, so
be
I'm
for
ready
people with
to
ADHD.
receive. If
I
your
could not
intention
sit
for
there and
your
think about
stone
that
is
damn
to
stone
ground
walking down the
yourself
street.
because you have anxiety or you're under a lot of stress and you just want to become calm, hold your stone in your hand and go outside. You can sit down or stand up in the grass. Breathe in and out several times. Visualize roots connecting the soles of your feet into the core of
I
the
can't
earth.
stop
Visualize
laughing.
the
She
green
literally
healing
said
light
go
coming
outside
back
and
up
touch
the
some
roots
grass.
through the soles of your feet and filling you with healing, vibrating energy. As you go about your day, you
No.
can keep this stone in your pocket to
It's
remind
to
you of that
energize
visualization
the grass
technique.
energizes
So
the
now on
crystals.
to how to use larger crystals. So when you have larger crystals,
Why are
rather than
people so
holding
into
them in your pocket or
vibration?
carrying them around with you all day, you can really just place them wherever you want their healing properties to be used. So, for example, your doorway of your house. Your doorway is the entry point to your safe space. So you want to make sure
Do they
that
have
energy
like a
coming in and
crystal
out of
that?
space is a positive
Do they have a crystal
energy.
that you
No
can
one
like put
wants
on the
a
back of your
negative
toilet to help you
person
poop?
entering their home. So what you can do is place black tourmaline
Just
by
asking.
your doorway. You can place it on the ground or on a table that's nearby, and that will collect all of the negative energy that enters your home. So if someone walks in and who has a really bad vibe, that stone will absorb that energy so that it won't fester in your home. Black tourmaline, like I said,
Is
it
she
does
trying to
absorb
imply
negative
that her
energy, so
dog
it
has
is
a bad
important to
vibe?
cleanse it regularly. Or you can leave selenite right by it because selenite cleanses everything that's near it. If you're wanting to connect more with the higher realms and focus more on your spirituality and connect with your divine
He's been
purpose,
watching
or
too
if you
much
really just
Spirit
want to
Nights.
have really vivid, beautiful dreams, you could place celestite on your bedside table.
I thought for
or you
sure
could just
she was
place it in
going
your
to say,
bedroom.
buy
The
some
same goes with
LSD.
amethyst. Amethyst is really
Yeah,
great if you're someone
he's
who
treating
has
crystals
really
like they're
bad
drugs.
nightmares or just having trouble sleeping in general. Amethyst really does help with sleep, so placing that on your bedside table or just somewhere in your room will bring much more peace and calming while you're sleeping. Citrine is the stone of success and finding your purpose in life, so placing that in your
That's
office is
pretty.
an amazing way to amplify that energy. Rose quartz is the
I just think that
stone
one's
of
pretty.
love and self-love, so place that
That
in
would
your
make a
bathroom,
great
or you
decoration.
can place it in your bedroom, but if it's in your bathroom, it will infuse all of your products with love. So you can supercharge that self-love energy by placing it all over your skin.
When I
all over your
poop,
body.
I poop
Rose
with
quartz in the
love.
bathroom is amazing. You can even put crystals in your garden. You can place green aventurine in your garden to pulse vitality through your plants, and even quartz stones
Oh,
to
no,
aid
To
in programming
pulse
your garden
vitality
with a different intention.
through
Side
your
note,
plants.
If you didn't know,
My
you can
dear, that
place an
is what the
intention
sun
when
is
you're
for.
growing a garden. So as the garden grows and as your
Wow.
plants grow, your flowers, your intentions
Pause,
also
please.
grow.
I thought that had something to do with chlorophyll.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, but this I had to pause for a few minutes just to fix my brain a little bit with some tea.
I also had a
Yikes.
question about the vibrations. Say I don't have time to like charge them all night. Like I gotta quickie get out, and like I forgot to charge them the previous night in the moonlight, and I gotta get on a plane. If I just like put them in a pile and stick my vibrator on them, will it work? Like, can I be done in 2 minutes?
I mean, that's good
point.
intention.
Like I'll put it on the highest settings so we can go with the highest vibrations. Will that work? I need to know. For a friend, hypothetically, if I
From
forgot to
now
charge my-
on, anytime someone says I'm going to raise my vibration, I'm just going to assume they mean turn their vibrator up.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, I completely already think that's what they mean. Is that not what they mean?
And Annie says, how do you charge them with no USB port?
Some vibrators have wall outlets.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
Oh, the
those are the
crystals or the
Hitachi magic
vibrators?
wands.
And they had some good comments too. NANA said, if I can't smoke it, don't see how it would work. Hail Satan, Matt said. And while meditating on the stone in my pocket, I got mugged and they stole my crystal. Well, that's what Purple said.
Ox in the chat, Ox said, a woman done in 2 minutes? Impossible.
with someone else or by herself? Totally
Hmm.
possible solo.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. Sorry, I have to go charge my crystals. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Is that the new metaphor for peeing or something?
No, that's the new metaphor for using your vibrator.
Oh! I charge.
Hang
my
on, you guys, I
crystals
gotta go
this
charge
morning.
my
I'm good.
crystals.
There you go.
Yeah, ignore the sound coming from the other room. It's just me charging my crystals.
Soft buzzing in the background.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are too much.
Yes. That's awesome. All right, we only have 22 seconds left of this one. Should we
God, yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. We're almost done.
With them. Watch this video over here to learn more about the different types of crystals that there are. I made this whole video that goes over all of the different things that you could think of. So I will see you over there in the next video. Bye.
Goodness, thank goodness that's over.
I was gonna say, please tell me it's not going into another video. I was scared for a second.
I know, thank goodness that's over. But I like the part. I've learned quite a few things from crystals have feelings. Who knew? They want to help you, so they actually have they have thought. That's really cool.
So they're conscious, yeah.
It turns out when you say someone is dumb as a rock, it's actually a compliment because rocks are quite nice.
Well, it also depends on the
It can be
rock,
nice
I
and still be
assume.
dumb.
Yes.
That's very true.
Like maybe granite is stupider than diamonds? I don't know.
Are there varying levels of stupidity with each stone? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. Well, we'll have to investigate that further at another point. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So what'd you think, Vishanti? What did you think of that one? Oops. Okay. Well, so should we go on to the? Yeah, I think we lost her a little bit. No, Matthew, don't be rude. All right, let's see. Should we go on? Should we go on to the next video since we did the Since we did what to do about the crystals? Now we have crystals, how they work, and crystal meanings. Cults, taboos, and twisted faith. Don't do these things with your crystals. How to cleanse and charge crystals. What is the difference? And I tried to improve my life using crystals, and viral TikToker breaks down conspiracy theories.
What say you, Astra?
We've seen what to do with our crystals. I kind of want to know what they say don't do with your crystals, because I think that'll give us a window into what people have been doing with their crystals.
Good idea.
Touché.
Yes, please. Yes, let's please don't do these things with your crystals. Crystals do's and don'ts, please, Dick.
That was a lot of
Ready to go.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, that was
It's
a lot of
Sunny from
that, yeah.
Soulful Vibes Co. Today, I'm coming to you with crystals don'ts. That doesn't even make sense. But anyways, things to not do with your crystals. And then I'll give you 3 bonus things that you should always do with your crystals. The first thing that you should never do with your crystals is sleep with them. I know people always say, okay, you should sleep with amethyst, sleep with lepidolite, sleep with labradorite.
Just fucked up
lapis, all these
Astra's
different
theory.
things, which you can. However, if you are sensitive to energy, it is not suggested that you do that. Also, you want to remember that if you're doing dream work or if you need help with going to sleep, then you can use the crystals for sleep. But just to sleep with them just because, I would not suggest it. Why? Because crystals is energy. Crystals and their energy that they give off will cause your body
across the room, and I feel a special connection. Like
so when you wake up, you won't feel rested.
And it's
so
a
think
damn
about it.
fine
You may have
crystal.
slept with your crystal bracelet on, slept with crystals under your pillow, something like that, and you woke up and like, dang, I'm still tired. That's because the energy from the crystals.
Well, maybe it's because you were sleeping with a rock under your pillow.
It still flows rather than you sleeping and resting. The energy from the crystals is having your body still work on the level and the energy of the crystals. I hope that makes sense. But you don't want to sleep with them because you don't want your body and your energetic field to still be working and trying to align with the crystal's energy when you should be resting. If you are doing, if you need to like recall dreams or you need help falling asleep, of course you could put the crystals maybe under your pillow or above your headboard or something. But if you're finding yourself not getting restful sleep, remove the crystals from your bed. Take off the crystal jewelry and put it aside for a minute. And the second thing you should never do with crystals is
Okay, hold on. So Okay, so she's saying that the crystals have energy and they put off energy and you get that energy. So how does the energy from the crystals help you sleep? So that's my first question. And second of all, if it does give you energy, then how come my ex, who has a bedroom full of crystals, always said she was tired? Maybe did she have too many?
Maybe she had the wrong type of crystals and they were sapping all of her bad vibes. I don't know.
Or maybe they just weren't doing anything and she wasn't sleeping right. Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah.
I mean, this woman did say, I hope this makes sense to you. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. But we're having a good time anyway, so it's fine.
Exactly. Yeah, it's if you can't sleep because you have rocks in your bed, that's an issue, So you can maybe take the rocks out, kind of pointy,
Right? I go camping. I have an air mattress. I don't want to sleep on rocks. It's uncomfortable. It will keep you awake. Absolutely. Do not sleep with your rocks. Nor should you have sex with them. I'm not sure which one she meant. Astra giggled, so it was pretty funny.
I feel like she attacked me for my previous theory, and I've never been so called out that immediately by something completely different.
I mean, she just came right in like she heard you say it and say, don't sleep with your crystals.
At me next time.
Yeah,
right?
don't sleep with your crystals. You should stay friends.
Absolutely. Always stay friends. Always stay friends. All right. Well, are we ready for number 2?
Yes, please.
Crystals in water. So certain crystals should never go in water. Blue kyanite, selenite, black kyanite, to name a few. This is a blue kyanite. It looks pretty sturdy, but if you put it in water, it will dissolve. Same thing with selenite. It will dissolve. Not all crystals will dissolve. Like amethyst or rose quartz wouldn't dissolve. But certain crystals, like this one, blue kyanite, selenite, and some other ones to name, will dissolve in water. The third thing you don't want to do is put crystals in your drinking water. So a lot of people charge their water with crystals and charge it with the full moon and things like that, which is fine. But I always suggest make a barrier. So if you are wanting to charge some water with amethyst, put maybe the water in maybe a mason jar and sit the amethyst around it and on top of it. The reason why is because some crystals contain iron, some crystals contain other chemicals that is not really great for you to digest. Also, some crystals
Wait, this is actually very good.
I was going to say, this is actually really solid advice. Like, listen to this part.
Yeah, I would have gone
with different minerals in your water. Just drink
you don't go around just
water.
picking up a rock and licking it. I wouldn't suggest that. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't lick rocks.
Don't be a rock licker. Stick with the windows. They're safer.
But even then, people are gross. So I would want to
seriously. I am right there with you. There's no fucking way I'm gonna put no. I just can't even. I can't even. No.
I work in customer service.
Don't lick anything. Just don't lick stuff.
Just don't.
No. Wait. Hold on. Back that up a little bit. Don't lick things that you don't know where it's been. How about that?
That's better because ice cream is good, things like that. But
right, that's what I was thinking. Ice cream cones. Thank you, Amy.
Oh, you were thinking
that are familiar.
No, I wasn't, but I'm just covering up with that because I went the wrong direction in my head.
About licking ice cream cones.
Me either.
Well, I was just making a suggestion. It's better. Popsicles would be better. Things that are meant
to be right.
Like fruit, like peaches. You can.
Oh yeah, you gotta lick a peach. It's got a lot of juice. Never mind. You're just an Astra. Seriously.
Okay, no, just kidding.
You're not helping over here.
Just kidding.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what else? Yeah. So should we see what else she's gonna say, or should? Yeah.
Well, let her go. She sounds more intelligent than the previous one.
Yes, she does, and she's not licking things, so that's good.
Different chemicals on the outside of them. Also, certain chemicals and chemical combustions happen in the mind. So you want to be safe rather than sorry, and not put the crystals directly in your drinking water. Also, I know that they have these like crystal bottles, water bottles and things. That's fine, but if the crystal is exposed and actually touching your water, I would not suggest to drink it or get those crystal bottles, because those chemicals from that treated crystal is now being in your water. But they have some crystal water bottles where the crystals are at the bottom and there's like a glass covering it and your water is around it. That's fine. So to be on the safe side, I would not suggest putting your crystals directly inside your drinking water. The fourth thing I wouldn't suggest is leaving your crystals out in the sun for a long period of time. If you ever had an amethyst and it's not quite purple how it used to be, it's probably because you left it out maybe in your windowsill too long or out in the sun for too long. So if you leave your crystals out to charge from the full moon or new moon, or even get it cleansed and charged with the sun, don't leave it out so long. It will fade the crystals. That does not mean that your crystals are fake or that they're not real. It just happens. Your citrine
That's
will become
actually
lighter, your
slightly
amethyst will become lighter,
interesting.
your rose quartz will become lighter, smoky quartz make it lighter. It changes and fades the crystals, so keep that in mind. And then the last thing I would suggest that you don't do with your crystals is allow people to borrow them. Don't be letting people hold your crystals.
What?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless, I guess there's like exceptions to the rule. Like you may give it to your daughter or your son to hold, but I would suggest getting your daughter, your son, their own collection. Even your spouse, get them their own collection. I would not suggest giving people your crystals. Like, oh, my friend's going through some heartache, I'm gonna let them hold my rose quartz and unakite. I treat my crystals like I treat my books. Nah, I probably treat my crystals a little. I'm a little stricter. But I don't let people borrow my books. I don't do it. I would just buy them their own copy. I won't let them borrow my books.
Wait, you don't
crystals,
let people
I'm not
borrow
letting you
your books?
My wife and I, we share.
That's like book community
but,
stuff. You kind of trade
there
them
are
around,
certain
right?
crystals of mine
My God,
that
imagine being
Everyone
proud of
borrows my
that.
books. I borrow
And
their
even
books
if
too. It's great.
I saw her use
Pause for a
crystal.
second.
Is she
You don't let people borrow your
anti-library?
books. Does she? I was you read my mind. You read my mind. You
Do
and me,
what?
same page.
Mhm.
What?
She doesn't let people borrow her books, but has she ever gone to a library?
Oh. No, she must buy them all brand new then, right? In plastic, so no one's touched it.
Yep. Must.
Oh yeah, it makes sense to me.
Can't believe.
It's
You know what I find funny is we're sitting here listening to all of this and we're commenting more about the issue with the books than anything about crystals.
Mhm.
I mean, I
pretty
think
much
we
all
take
we
for
get out of
granted
this
that crystal stuff is nonsense.
Should we keep going?
Lord.
I would cleanse it very well. Our energy is pretty much aligned. That's an exception to the rule. But I'm not letting my little sister, my cousin, my uncle, my auntie, my homeboy, nobody. I'm not letting them hold my crystals. Get them their own set, because what you got to remember is, yes, crystals have a certain energy, a certain frequency, a certain vibration, but understand that they absorb energy. So whoever and whatever they're around, it absorbs that energy. Yes, you can cleanse
She's
it.
got
I'm
a
not
good
saying you
point
can't
on
cleanse it.
this.
You can cleanse it.
I do
However,
think it's very
you
important to only
always
let your
want to
spouse
be
or your
mindful of the
partner
energy it absorbs, right?
borrow your
so if it
vibrator.
absorbs their energy, why would you want to take it back and hold it and try to cleanse it? Yeah, you could cleanse it, but it's like, it's already dirty. Just keep it. Don't worry about it, right? So those are the don'ts, the things that you should not do with your crystals. Now, 3 bonus, what you should always do with your crystals is, 1, you should always cleanse them. I do not care if they came from your best friend who got the best intentions in the whole world for you. I don't care if it came from your mama, who your mama been practicing with crystals for years and she want to gift you some. I don't care if it comes from your favorite spiritual shop. Hint, hint, soulful vibes. Cleanse it, okay? Just
Damn,
cleanse
that's
it.
shady.
Cleanse it with sage,
Right?
Palo Santo.
I really think you should
lavender,
replace
sweetgrass.
crystal in every one of your
Cleanse it with some
sentences with
rose. Cleanse
sex
it with
toy.
some sort of
and it all
herb,
makes
some
sense.
incense, something. Cleanse it. Get rid of whatever energy was set for it, and get rid of energy that have come in contact with it. Yes, soulful vibes, we good over here, and we all have vibes, but guess what? We still human. Not only that, yes, I can charge them. Yes, I can put my own little special juju on the crystals, but in transit to you, they come in contact with post office workers all the time, and I have rarely ever saw happy post office workers.
Whoa.
I digress.
Wow.
However, you want to cleanse
Wow,
it.
that's
Two, you
stereotyping.
always want to set your intention with your crystals. Set your intention. Hold it. All right, look, I got some black tourmaline, blue kyanite, and amethyst. Say I need this amethyst to help me with calming my anxiety. So once I cleanse it, I'm going to cleanse it, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to say, you know what, amethyst, I know you're really good at doing these, this, that, but specifically, I want to use you to help cleanse. Do y'all hear the sirens? Excuse it. But I want to
That's
use
not
you
good.
to help
Nope.
me ease and deal with my anxiety better, right? Something like that. Set your intentions for it. And the last thing that you should always do with your crystals is keep them with you or around you. For example, if you are going out about your day and you got your little purse, put some in your purse. I always have a little sack in my purse full with crystals. Put some in your pocket. Or if you don't carry purses, you don't have pockets. Okay, you're at work. Put the crystals around your work desk. Wherever you are, there should be some crystals, right? I have crystals in the bathroom, bedroom, over here in my living room. I have crystals in my purse. Keep them with you so that you can maximize the energy that comes from them. So let me know in the comments
Is that
below
why
if you
the-
have any questions.
is that why women
in
have those
regards
big
to
purses?
Crystals, any concerns, whatever. Drop your comments, questions below. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me, and I'll be sure to record them. Until we meet again, guess what? I love you. Bye.
Oh boy.
Well,
We
you
had
know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. We just had a good comment. Tony Regime said even the police siren was saying "woo, Elmo."
Nah.
Oof.
Yeah, you know, she did have a good like personality and like a loving kind of person. You know what I mean? Like you could tell she was a good person, kind of thing. So that's good. You know, most of them do it with good intentions. So that's sweet and all, but you know, I think some religions started with good intentions too. So there you go.
Yep. There we go. Well, at least now we know what not to do with crystals, and some things were
Mhm.
common sense, like don't sleep on them. That's ouchy.
Don't sleep on them. Don't lick them.
Yep. Don't lick 'em.
Don't leave them in the sun because they will fade. I found that
Mhm.
interesting, honestly,
Yes.
because now I want to know, well, if the color can be bleached out, what is that color? So great. Now I'm going to start reading about geology. I hate reading. Damn you guys.
Yes. And the moral lesson to learn today is just don't lick things that are unfamiliar to you. I used to
Sir-
work in retail and people
Oh
are
God,
gross.
me too.
Please,
I'm sorry.
please. So yes. So what did you guys think about that one?
Ugh.
I don't know. Part 2 to the first one, kind of, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Except the
That is
first
true.
lady didn't say anything about, you know, she was telling you to dunk your crystals in water. She forgot about the ones that will dissolve. So I find that kind of funny because somebody's going to take her advice and put all their new crystals in the water, and then they're going to come back and there's going to be nothing because it was like salt based or something.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. My brain is now even smoother than it was when I started out.
Damn, lost another ripple.
Exactly. I like how Vishanti summed everything up so succinctly. Ugh.
Right.
That was
Ugh.
perfect. and thank you so much, John Watson, for £5. He says, I love rock. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Well, we're
That's
if
brilliant.
anybody that's an atheist has to like rocks. Isn't that what it is? Or like
think
rocks,
so.
we gotta like rocks or something. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. So thank you
Something
for
like
that
that.
one. Yes, so should we keep going on to the next one? What do we have next? Let me see. Let me scroll back up here. We've got, so we did the no-nos. So
Yeah.
and we did the biggest tips. So we have crystals, how they work, and crystal meanings, cults, taboos, and twisted faith. We also have how to cleanse and charge crystals. What is the difference and how often should I do it? I tried to improve my life using crystals. And viral TikToker breaks down conspiracy theories. So what do you guys think?
Should we continue with
Conspiracies.
crystals or should we segue on to a new topic? I guess is the question.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking too.
Change, please. I'm done with crystals, please.
Yeah. We can always go back to them. So there we go. So which ones did you guys like? Because we have the viral TikToker breaks down conspiracy theories, and we have cults, taboos, and twisted faith, which are not crystals.
I'm actually, since I kind of picked it, I'm gonna say I kind of want to check out that chart, the conspiracy theory chart.
That chart is so good.
Is it
For
really?
real. Yeah,
I haven't even
saw
seen it
one
yet.
of-
I started going into it and I just stopped it. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait for the show. Just do like,
when
honest
it
reaction
first
shit.
came out, and went viral on Twitter and all that stuff. It was so good.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I'm ready for it.
Awesome.
Good.
Yes, please. Can we do the conspiracy theories, please, Dick?
All set and ready.
Thank you.
Everyone either thinks I'm a genius or they think that I am being controlled by Satan. And I'm neither, I just made a chart. Honestly, what happened is I was talking to a guy on Tinder about conspiracy theories, and I was like, this is absurd. I can't say MK Ultra is the same as 9/11, it was an inside job, is the same as satanic cult of Jews around the world. These are all different. I was like, I need to categorize them, and I don't want to write my essay. So I made a chart.
This is so relatable. I don't want to write my
Right.
essay, so I make a chart.
Yeah. Rock on.
You go through
Goes
these
from
5
reality
sections,
all the way up
and
to
in the first section
stupid.
are real conspiracies that actually happened. There are real instances of people in power who abuse their power and are corrupt. Big Tobacco knew that they were causing cancer and they lied about it. Once you pass the speculation line, there are things that we aren't sure about. That's the we have.
Let's see if we're back. Do I hear you guys? My whole audio system crashed. Everybody hear me
that
now?
was weird.
I hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that
hear
was
you.
weird. It's like everything paused all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just getting ready to check my internet because it's usually me. So
I know. I was
Yeah.
looking at my box. That's why I didn't say anything. I was going, wait, is it blinking or what's going on?
yeah, I know. I looked right over like.
Not
Yeah, it was
now.
very strange. But I
Done.
put it back about 10 seconds to make sure nobody misses anything. So I'll kick it back in here for you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dick.
Thank you.
Line, there are things that we aren't sure about. That's the we have questions.
Wait a minute. I don't
category.
hear her now.
That
Hold
was
on.
a lot
What the
of,
fuck is
Really
that?
quiet.
Okay, let's see. Maybe that's the part that crashed. That's why. Let's see what happens now.
Category. That was a lot of like
There we go.
suspicious deaths. Then once you left reality, I have like the unequivocally false but mostly harmless. And those are just untrue but not actively hateful. This category has aliens, celebrities, and mythical creatures, and like if you're super lucky, all three. Avril Lavigne was not replaced by a woman named Melissa. She's just not 18 anymore. That one keeps me up at night because poor Avril. So unfair to her. As you move up, things start to get like genuinely dangerous. Once you pass science denial, you've bought into genuine disinformation at that point. Global warming is a hoax. COVID-19 made in a lab. Don't wear a mask, it's bad for you. Chemtrails or the government poisoning you.
If someone feels discontented, these ideologies provide them with a sense of community and someone to blame.
Like, it's good to question people in power, and it's good to question the establishment and the systems that we live in, absolutely. This is not questioning people in power, this is just questioning science itself. And that's not helping anybody. And then you pass the anti-Semitic point of no return, which at that point, it doesn't really matter which theory or myth that you're looking at. They all really come down to the world is controlled by a small group of people. These people are elites and they are Jewish.
Yep.
Wow, I never thought about it like that before, but smack.
It went around Twitter as like, this socialist teen hates golf. And I was like, I am 24, but okay, thanks.
Wait, I didn't know about the golf thing.
They were harassing her about
it's
this.
something I've always been fascinated by, but having to learn how to protect myself online took me to new places of the internet, and I learned a lot there. Going forward with the chart, it'd be cool to test it and continue expanding on it and continue learning from it and see if it like is applicable and is helpful.
Boy, isn't that the truth? There's so much no one ever told you about. You have to do your own research. Facts.
That's all she wrote.
That's awesome, though.
That was great. And right
I
at the
love it.
top, flat Earth, and then the second one underneath it, I loved it. Anti-vax.
Yep. I like how she
5G.
said once you get past this point, you're just that's it. It's
I put the full version in our green room, so there's plenty of like we can go through those. But honestly, my favorite part of the chart is when she's like, "Yeah, there's an anti-Semitic point of no return," because literally all conspiracies end up going there.
Yep.
Whenever you're like, "Oh, it's us versus them. They are in control." It's always they. It always ends up being Jews.
the Pizzagate.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's
Is
right.
that
Every
Satan?
time.
Get help section.
That really looks
Mhm.
like satanic cult penis, but I think it's panic.
Yes. Yes. The satanic panic that happened in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, well, barely, yeah.
Yeah,
I lived
yes,
out in the
it-
country back then. We didn't hear about that shit. They didn't
But
put
yeah,
that stuff on the
actually.
news where I lived.
I just love
Exactly.
her whole thing. Like, it's okay, there's things that actually happened. We have some questions. Then unequivocally false. But okay, it's not hurting anybody. Like, you believe in Bigfoot. All right, whatever. Sure, cool. But it's not like actively harming anybody, you know. Then there's dangerous. Like, that's why, you know, anti-vax or 5G and chemtrails and essential oils, like, these are things that prevent people from getting proper treatment for things. So, you know, you can't get the vaccines. It's going to put a 5G chip in you. It's going to track you. And no, like,
You know-
no.
You know how I feel about that with them being
Yeah.
there being multiple vaccines in one vial.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know who gets what chip?
But also, and I heard people talking about this. I've been watching a lot of deep cut, like old Kent Hovind clips, because I'm gonna destroy this dude next week. And
Nice.
he was Sovsit before Sovsit became a big deal. You know, he's been riding that train for a long time. And he was saying how, you know, Timothy McVeigh didn't blow up the Oklahoma City building. He didn't, you know, use fertilizer. It was destroyed from the inside. And then he crosses the anti-Semitic point of no return. He started mentioning that obviously faked propaganda book that we all know was fake, The Protocols of the Elders of Zion. And he even briefly mentions, like, yeah, it was supposed to make Jews look bad. But here's what the book says. And he was even like, oh, Jews are going to get mad at me. I'm like, gee, I wonder why. Kent.
It's amazing if you change one letter in a name, what it can do. Anyway.
So yeah, but he's crossed into this line because sure, he doesn't think the earth is flat. Okay, cool. Yay, good for him. Like, ooh, congratulations. But he's all into like, oh, microchipping in the New World Order. And oh, you know, there's all sorts of Illuminati and there's, you know, subliminal messages everywhere. And you should, you know, deep state elders. It's almost all of these in the top, you know, category. It's unhinged. Oh, yeah. And what's funny is that he'll say like, oh yeah, we know the earth's not flat. That's dumb. I believe in science. There's evidence and blah, 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 blah. But then he'll say like, yeah, we absolutely believe that certain cryptids are real creatures. And we know that people have seen them because they told us so.
Oh, I missed that conversation. Yeah, you know, I hate to stereotype and categorize people, but he's just one of those guys, and they're all like that. They all say the same spiel. They all, you know, follow each other around and pat each other on the butt, but only if they're in football uniforms. Otherwise, it's gay.
Right. But the thing about like all of these people that keep going into like, oh, it's the New World Order, oh, it's the Illuminati, all of this, you know, one government, one religion, you know, they obviously don't sit down long enough to put the dots together, because if you believe that all of these conspiracies are true, they all contradict each other.
Yep.
Like, if the Illuminati's running stuff, then why is the Bilderberger Group also, are they part of the Illuminati? Are they separate from it? Like, what's the deal with the Freemasons? Are they part of the Illuminati? Are they different? Are they separate from the Bilderberger Group?
It's like the Koch brothers. What about them? Where they can,
all these, these rich families. Yeah, and oh, thank you, Commander Forerun. I was just about to say that. The category where it talks about, you know, conspiracies that are unhinged, but they're also becoming harmful to people. Kent Hovind, for years, decades even, has been selling cyanide in the form of apricot seeds. And that cyanide, you know, is deadly. And he'll be like, oh, no, it's not deadly. If you only put enough, you know, in your body, it'll actually melt the fatty layer around the cancer cells, and it's not dangerous.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vitamin B17 cures cancer, and this one tribe over in Tibet doesn't ever get cancer until they stopped eating as many apricot seeds, and everybody colonized them. You can go look it up now.
So you're saying he's kind of like one of those little ankle biter dogs.
It's just so funny to me which conspiracies he chooses to promote and which ones he doesn't. It was hilarious to me this week. Like, hate boner for him right now is pretty strong. And I was neutral to like annoyed before, but now I'm angry. Like, because before I had never really thought about, you know, the anti-Semitic stuff that he was pushing, because at the time, you know, when I started learning about all this when I was a teenager, you know, it just didn't click, you know. And I go back and watch some of the stuff now and I'm just like, oh my God, you really are going there. You're promoting the worst ideas, the worst people. Like, dude, it's not a wonder you went to prison for tax evasion, because you're a soft-sit tax protester. Like,
you know, you just brought up the one thing, the first thing that I ever noticed about religion that made me go, what in the hell, is the fact that everybody that was religious all pointed fingers and said those people, whoever it was less than them. They judged everybody and they were the best.
Well, it's funny that he
and I
gets
was like,
really
wait,
upset when people criticize him or call him names, because he's like, oh, it's not nice to call people names, but then he has whack an atheist. Like, seriously, you think whacking a SpongeBob toy is going to make people change their mind? That's ridiculous. But yeah, he was talking about how, I don't know why all these people are sending me all these messages about flat Earth. The Earth is not flat. Get a clue. The science is clear, okay? The Earth is not flat. Stop sending me these messages. And I was like, Kent, the reason they're sending you these messages is because you promote literally every single other one of their conspiracies. Why wouldn't you promote this one?
They're just hoping you're going to go, oh, me too. That's all. They want somebody high up and more famous than them to promote their bullshit.
Like, he's still to this day baffled by the idea that people continually ask him about flat Earth. He just doesn't, like, you're so close, Kent. You're almost there, man. Like, just this far away, man. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you're literally promoting anti-science? Science is a conspiracy. It's just a bunch of propaganda. It's, you know, all these conspiracies. It's the Illuminati. It's the Freemasons. It's the Bilderbergers. It's the, you know, UN. It's the whatever groups. What do you think is going to happen? Of course, they're going to think that you believe in flat Earth.
I think he's giving his audience both not enough and a little too much credit at the same time, because he knows that these conspiracies are all just anti-Semitic dog whistles.
He doesn't think of them as anti-Semitic because he believes them to be true.
So he says, but then flat Earth comes along and it's not clearly like an anti-Semitic or racist dog whistle. And he's like, no, come on. Like, obviously that's not right. You all know that we're just doing dog whistles, right? You all know
he's not against flat Earth because it's a dog whistle. He's against flat Earth because of science, which is the hilarious part. Because he's so anti-evolution. And he's like, oh yeah, real science isn't, you know, for evolution. Evolution's not science. And yet the whole entire reason that he believes the Earth is not flat is science. Bruh.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, and he's even mentioned this. He's like, we have photos from space. People have been to space. The ISS exists. There are satellites. You know, he thinks people that are flat earthers are dumb.
I have to say this, you know, I think it's about time that everybody's heard it. And I know this, and Astra knows this. There's only one conspiracy out there that's absolutely true, and I'm going to let everybody in on it right now. Yes, us gays are trying to take over. There you go.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we have meetings every Tuesday.
We want everybody to be like bi to gay. You know, that's our goal.
The gay agenda. It's,
I mean,
you know, brunch on
now my wife was straight when I met her. It's happening.
Yeah, it's we're working on it, man. You know, it's finally those straight people are starting to have those gay children. So
We're made all the frogs gay. What else is next?
Right.
Oh, it's in the water, baby. It's in the water. Don't forget, Astra, it's your weekend to drop that pellet in the local water supply. Thanks.
Right. Because I missed last week.
I know. It's okay. I got it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm 5
have a
minutes
spreadsheet.
from the lake, so I'll just toss it in tomorrow morning.
Oh my God.
We have a spreadsheet. It's our turn.
Yeah. We got a meeting scheduled. We call it the gay agenda.
I mean, I've kept minutes for the weekly agenda meeting, so.
And down south, they call it the gay agenda, y'all. And it spells gay.
I just love that.
Don't get me started on gay
but you're going to hell.
I could be here for days. Anyways.
Taking over the world, one inquisitive crotch at a time.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Got to sniff out the competition.
But yeah, I probably showed up late to the whole like Kent Hovind hate party train, but seriously, that dude this week finally got on my last nerve.
I have to ask, when are you going to have a conversation with him? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if I'm going to have a direct conversation with him until I kind of do a broad kind of takedown of some of his like more specialized non-evolution related stuff. I actually have met him before, which I think I've mentioned in other streams. I don't remember if it was on this channel or not. Yeah, this was a long time ago, and it wasn't under the auspices of like creationism. It was completely unrelated, but yeah, I don't know if I want to have an actual conversation with him because I'm not sure that I could keep my cool.
Touche.
Maybe one day we should put one of his videos on here so we can just rip it apart.
God, honestly, that would qualify as like human torture. I'm pretty sure it violates the Geneva Convention.
It's one step before genocide itself.
Cruel and unusual punishment.
It's genocide. You make people want to kill themselves when they hear it.
I mean, you know, like Dapper Dino's been going through pretty much all of his seminar bit by bit, and it's so weird because it's been years since I watched any part of those, but I still remember all of his derpy little, like, faux jokes. Like, they all just fall completely flat, and most of them are sexist, so.
I'm sorry you remember them.
Well, you know, when you grow up in the Deep South, you have a youth pastor who really believes in that, so you end up watching the whole thing.
Oh, damn. I guess I'm lucky. I grew up Catholic light.
Episcopal? Anglican? Whatever?
No, like literally Catholic, but we didn't like Bible thump at home.
Well, Catholics in general aren't like that, so.
Yeah, no, they really, I mean, well, some of them get all, you know, start talking about God a little bit here and there, bring it up, you know, but.
Yeah, the thing is,
my mom didn't really do that much.
In the side chat is talking about how Kent wouldn't like him in particular because he's not, you know, the exact same type of Christian that Kent is. That's because Kent has a very, very narrow, teeny tiny definition of what a Christian is. And in his estimation, the King James Version is the only trustworthy version of the Bible, by God. And, you know, praise the Lord, we're only going to use King James. It's just so silly, the things he chooses to, like, the hills that he chooses to die on, like.
Has anybody ever handed him the Matthews 15:37?
Do you understand that they're going to selectively interpret?
That reads differently. The words are not the same in it.
I mean, and there's even differences between denominational Bibles. Like the specific passage where Mary's, you know, tootling along and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're pregnant. And somebody runs up to her and is like, you know, hey, you're so blessed and special. And she's like, no, it's just the baby. I'm just carrying it. In Protestant Bibles, that's what she essentially says. In Catholic Bible, she says, yes, I actually am that holy. And I'm also carrying this holy child. And so you're like, wait, yes or no?
You know, one of the things I never understood about Catholicism was they always said, don't worship any other gods or anything, only worship God, right?
Hashtag
but then they
saints,
had like
hashtag Mary,
hashtag Jesus, hashtag Mary, right? And then they had them everywhere, and you had to like do genuflections in front of them and shit.
What about the saints?
My mom's side of the family, they all do that. By the way, Silk, I don't really watch movies on YouTube. I've watched like documentaries, I guess. They weren't very well made, and I didn't like having to pause constantly because, you know, ads. So I try not to.
No, I use Netflix and Hulu for that.
Yeah, I've got HBO Max, I've got Amazon, I've got Netflix.
Those are the three I have too.
But yeah, I love documentaries. So
hey, awesome. Yeah. So should we do another video? What do you think? Should we go on to another one? Do you want to go back to crystals or
what's left?
We've done the TikTok. We've done the complete beginner's guide. So we've got we've got cults, taboos, and twisted faith. We've got crystals, how they work, and crystal meanings. We've got how to cleanse and charge crystals. What is the difference and how often should I do it? And I am trying to improve my life using crystals.
Cults. That's my vote.
The cult one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. May we have the cults, taboos, and twisted faith, please, Dick?
Hello, and welcome to the Doc Exchange, a Real Stories podcast, in partnership with the Grierson Trust. Every week, I'll ask a new filmmaker or filmmaking team about 3 documentaries, connected by a single theme, that have made a meaningful impression on their work and life.
I don't have full recall of what happened when I was under hypnosis. I remember a lot of it, but not all of it.
I was under obedience to do what I was told. By then, the abuse had started.
I didn't want to have sex with him, or didn't want him to have sex with me, or use me for
Oh
sex
my.
anymore.
They made him have sex with a dog. They cut one of his testicles out and made him eat it. They took his teeth out with a hammer and chisel.
This
Techniques of
escalated
mind
quickly.
control are so effective. A lot of people think, oh, if we could just get him or her out of the group, that would be it. It's not as easy as that.
What did we start?
I'm sorry.
Why did I think they were talking about alien abduction for a minute? Did I just completely
Cults are very, very active
decide
in the
what-
UK. They're damaging individuals, they're damaging families, they're damaging the economy. There are up to 1,000 different cults in operation, and I'm known for being conservative with my figures.
I'm sure you are.
I think everyone who manages to escape a cult and build any sort of semblance of a normal life is truly a survivor. The Children of God were formed in 1968 by a former evangelical pastor called David Berg.
Those guys are serious.
My parents both joined the cult as teenagers in France. They were both around 17 when they joined. This was in the first decade of the cult's existence, when the cult appeared to be quite an exciting place to be. They married within the cult, and
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Joaquin Phoenix and his family grew up in that cult.
Oh.
Mhm.
No, I did not know that.
Escaped it, but yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Lucky them.
No kidding. And he's mostly well adjusted, so good for him.
Yeah.
Right? That was probably a feat.
Congrats on his, kid and everything. So, yay for him.
Agreed.
For those of you that don't know and don't care about celebrities, I don't know if they're officially married, but he's had a kid with, what's her face? Rooney Mara. They met on that Jesus and Mary Magdalene movie and apparently hit it off, so.
Huh.
Good for them.
Yeah, I don't know who she is.
She was in the remake of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, great book.
I've seen the original
Yes.
movie with Noomi Rapace in it, and holy shit, that scarred my psyche. So there was no way in hell I was watching the remake. Nope.
Yeah, I went through all, what was it, 3 of those books, Amy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there was 3.
I think so, yeah. I started
Dragon
through them. Yeah, they're
Tattoo,
good.
Girl Who Played with Fire.
Fire.
And,
Yep.
Shit, what's the third one?
Those are the only 2 I remember right now, too.
I can't remember the third one, but they're all
Yeah,
good.
They all were good,
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tony Regime, you're right, it didn't go well for River Phoenix, but I don't think... Well, the cult may not have been directly related to his drug abuse or whatever, but it probably played a pretty big part, so you never know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I
And
couldn't even
that's-
imagine growing up in that kind of an environment with psycho people.
Yeah, she's probably going to go into it a little bit here, but it's kind of, for those of you that haven't been to LA, the Viper Room is still there. It's still, they have, shows and stuff, but it's always a little weird going to shows there because you can't help but be reminded, of River Phoenix and all that. So it's always a little awkward. Not awkward. I would say spooky, but that makes people think of like the supernatural. So I would just say it's like uncomfortable when you go to a place with that kind of history, but
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
it's a great venue though. So whatever.
Want to carry on?
Yeah, I'm absolutely insisting that one day Dick Dawson come down here to LA and visit me, and we're gonna go to every club on the Sunset Strip.
I'd be into doing it again. I haven't done that in a long time.
Mm-hmm. And they're all still there, still kicking.
Oh.
So
Cool. There'd be some
Yeah.
good memories for me that
I halfway remember my night at the Rainbow Room.
that's how it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
What happens stays.
Apparently, I went to the Key Club after, but I don't remember that part. So I guess that means I was there. Anyway. Thank you, Rodent. No last name is the girl who kicked the hornet's nest.
That's it. That's it. Sitting here the whole time trying to think of it. Are we ready to move on? Watch some more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Began having children. Not long after they were sent to Thailand, where I was born. The children of God believed that all Christians should abandon all their personal belongings and families and live fully for Christ. They became quite a large movement. So in total, I believe they had about 30,000 people pass through the cult over the
And you're
decades
thinking,
that
oh,
they
that's
were
not
most
so
active.
bad.
At any one time, there were about 10,000 members, of which about 60% were children because they didn't believe in contraception.
There is hidden population, though less hidden now because some of these young people are coming out talking about their experience, of people who were born or grew up in cults. It's easy for people to say, well, you know, why did you join this group? You're so stupid or needy or weak or vulnerable or whatever it is. You can't say that about the people who are born or brought up in these groups and who've really suffered terribly.
For the
Can't help what you're born
majority
into.
of my childhood, we lived in combo homes, very large homes. And it was run very much like a military camp. We were divided up by age groups. We had very strict schedules. We all slept together, ate together. And basically, they were raising us to be members of God's final army.
Religious fanaticism or cultish behavior warps the ideology, and it makes it try to perceive to the victim, in effect, that what they're doing is actually correct, what they're doing is right, even though it's a hyper-literal interpretation of the faith.
So not only were we being trained, you know, spiritually and physically to become soldiers, you know, we were told that we would die as martyrs and receive, you know, amazing gifts when we got to heaven for our sacrifice. We were told that we would have superpowers, you know, like being able to shoot thunderbolts from our eyes. They also predicted the end of the world
that's
several
not
times,
manipulating
which
children
meant
at
that
all.
we children were brought up with the firm knowledge that we were going to die most likely in our teenage years.
You have this total belief system or total ideology
pressure.
where you can only believe the cult beliefs, nothing else. This is all you need to know. It covers everything. So, you know, forget all the other things that you might be interested in. And we can explain everything that ever happened in the world and ever will happen in the world.
If they can play to some of their fears and tell them that, well, actually, the world itself is coming to an end as well, they portray this, in effect, a doomsday type scenario, which makes those individuals fearful for their own lives.
I can't say I remember many moments where I was happy. I think the fact that we were not allowed to see our parents as much as most children would, or even our own siblings, meant that, you know, you just felt...
A lot of these traits that cults have, like Geo Sam is mentioning in the chat, Steve Hassan's bite model, there are certain things that are common to all of these groups. And, you know, having superpowers and shooting laser out of your eyes and also being, you know, separated from your parents, that's a lot of what Scientology does. The whole thing of apocalyptic end times, us versus them, militarization and militia building that ends up being a lot of like right-wing fundamentalists, God, I hate to mention Waco because that's such an oversimplification. But yeah, I mean, Waco comes to mind, but also the People's Temple when they moved to Guyana, isolating people, trying to control what they think, how they behave, who they socialize with, things like that. A lot of conspiracy movements have these traits, and it wouldn't be too far off to compare them to cults, just, outside of the fact that they're not usually centralized, on communes or whatever. So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, they do tend to be very cult-ish.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Globerbomb says, I remember a story that River Phoenix told about him being told he would only live to the age of 23, and that's the age he died at.
Wow, seriously?
Yeah, I feel like that's probably like a wild coincidence, but yeah.
I know, but still weird.
It's still pretty haunting.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in college, I was kind of afraid of joining the 27 club. Like all those famous rock stars that have all died at the age of 27.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, when I turned 28, I was like, yeah, I made it.
Right. No, we had that thing in our family for a while because my mother died at right before she turned 47. And my sister died right after she turned 46. So they were both 46 years old. And both died on September 1st. So when September 2nd hit, and I was 46 and still, or 47 and still got past September 1st, I called my sister and said, I made it. She said, I knew you would.
And Dark Knight
just both out.
I did use the ish kind of intentionally because I don't want to say stuff like Flat Earth is a cult. I'm just saying it has some, overlap there.
It has some similarities.
There's a few.
I don't want it to be as organized as a cult. I'd rather them just be stupid for a while and then go away like they will.
Committed as cultic. It's a little less involved. It's like ish,
right. And on that same theme that we've got right now, M2M asks, does the panel consider Flat Earth to be a cult? If no or yes, why?
What do you think, Aimee?
I think it has some elements to it that make it cult-like, if you know what I mean. It's there's a lot of, convincing and must, quote unquote, spread the word, must, and no matter how much, right, and no matter how many times you try to tell them, try to present them with evidence to the contrary, they don't seem to, they deny it, and there's no questions asked. They just deny. Like it's almost like they've been brainwashed. I'll say that and put that in quotes. So there are some aspects of it that I do think are cult-like.
But I think that they have some elements that are similar to cults, but I find the lack of like a singular charismatic type leader who generally is the one authority on what doctrines they believe. I find the lack of that to be kind of a big disqualifier of making them an actual cult.
Thank you.
They also don't follow like a lot of the bite model. Like Flat Earth isn't like there's no behavior control.
Yeah.
Like,
and it, Jinshu in the chat saying it can't be a cult because there's no real central dogma. There's too many different opinions on different points. Because there's the theistic flat earthers, there's the non-theistic flat earthers, there's the ice wall versus infinite plane. I don't know.
Yeah. It's too disjointed.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I meant when I said it's not organized enough to be a cult.
Exactly.
Which I'm good with. I'm okay with that. We don't want them to gain any kind of power. God, no. But no, that's exactly pretty much what you said, Shanti, was exactly what I was going to say. I feel like the lack of an organization And the lack of that head figure that calls all the shots does not make them a cult.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there is a lot of ancillary reinforcement of what, the common beliefs are, but it's not really strong enough to significantly impact your social relationships. In most cases, like, you've heard flat earthers say, like, oh yeah, my family won't talk to me, they think I'm crazy, but it's not as severe as I sold all my belongings and moved to a commune or left the country to go live with other flat earthers. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's when we start having problems, right?
Yeah, that's when you start having problems.
Yeah,
Most of it's done via the internet and Facebook and stuff. So while that is a type of having, centralized movement, it's not something that you could exercise like ironclad control over.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Not like actual cults that were in the news recently, like the one I was just reading about one in the New Yorker today. So that was pretty cool. About that NIVXM cult that they were just
the NXIVM
were just being prosecuted. That's a true cult. That is an actual cult. And they actually did have physical control because they were it wasn't over the internet. It was physically in that is a cult.
They actually branded the women. They had a specific, like, it ended up being a stylized version of the guy's initials that they lied and said, oh no, this is, a totally different meaning. And they would literally brand you with like a branding iron or scar you with it. And that's a cult.
That is a definite cult. And I just wanted to clarify my comments on that too as well. Mostly it's behavioral, what I was looking at in the individual that made me think, that yes, flat earth can be considered cult-like, but not quite a cult. It's not.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Thank you.
That was a great question.
That was an awesome question. Thank you,
a huge
M2M,
segue.
We are talking about cults.
So many cults to talk about. I know.
No,
That's how
goodness.
it is. You probably do a whole show on cults. I mean, we could probably do 3, like part 1, 2, 3.
I mean,
gosh,
if you guys are into it, I know Kevin's actually doing a piecemeal series on cults, and I think the next one's going to be on Shimrikyo, which is freaking horrifying if you've never read up on them. So, yeah, some crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much every cult out there in my point of view that I've ever heard of.
Yeah, that one directly inspired some acts of terrorism. So,
yeah, not good.
Not good.
No.
Not good at all.
Exactly. Did you have enough time, Bad Astra? Did you want to? You said you had to go early.
Yeah, I have to head out, but I can wait until this video's over.
Oh, okay, sure. I'm not trying to rush you out or anything. Just wanted to make sure you had time. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Should we keep going?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Thank you.
Very alone, often, no matter how many people were surrounding you. We had a lot of time being brainwashed with Berg's doctrines. No matter what kind of relationship you were in, everyone was encouraged to sleep with everyone else who was in their commune, to the point that they actually had sexual sharing schedules. So people didn't even have the option of who they wanted to sleep with. They were told who, when, and how.
Cults do not
So you
allow
get
free
beaten
choice.
really fast.
Other organizations, the churches, your local social group allows free choice to become a member or not. What you see is what you get in a legitimate organization. That's not what you get in a cult.
Things escalated when David Berg brought out the law of love. He brought out several letters about child sex in which he claimed that it was acceptable for children to experiment sexually and be sexually active by the time they hit puberty, which for some girls and boys would be about the age of 12 or 13. This, unfortunately, caused quite a wave of child sex abuse in the cult. where every person who was
Yeah.
inclined that way took his doctrines as the go-ahead to abuse children. And unfortunately, I was one of them. At the age of 4, I was abused on multiple occasions by an adult man who lived in our home and who looked after us children.
Oh.
The children of God have been known for the abuse of people from very early days. And what's happened to people in that organisation is quite tragic.
It was in my second year at art school. I had come out of a marriage. Emotionally, I was lost. I was just really interested in broadening my horizon. I saw posters for Native American shaman. I thought that would be interesting to go and check out this guy, imagining it'd be a wizened old man with a white beard. And this person who arrived on the platform was a young, easygoing American guy, like a chap next door, who just happened to have a very big gift in healing, as he said. He had whopping great eyes, and he was issuing out love, it seemed, from those eyes. He looked at me and said, you're the one. You can help me. You're strong. You can really help me. And it was like, okay, that's me. At last, I know where I belong.
People assume that there has to be something wrong with you to finish up in a cult. Simply not true. If you're a caring, loving person who wants to either better themselves or make life better for others, then you're an easy target.
So a lot of these individuals, if they are having personal problems in their family, if they suddenly meet somebody who's offering them a solution to many of the questions that they have, then you are giving them what they're looking for, what society can't give them. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about cults.
Somebody had given over her house to him in London, turned it into sort of a temple kind of thing. This was over months, but clearly it was, say, this group was getting tighter.
If you can control other people, you can get some fringe benefits. You can get sex, you can get money, you can get free labor, you can get adulation. But I think the fundamental motivation is to control others, to control kind of your environment.
It was like my outer life was diminishing and the life within was getting stronger. As it went on, he then dropped his Christian name and started using a Tibetan name because he started claiming that he was the proper Buddha. Not that the Dalai Lama wasn't the real Dalai Lama.
He's a white guy, wasn't he?
Was. And he was also not only the Dalai Lama, but he was
you gotta
also
have
Jesus
good cultural appropriation to go with your
And I
creepy
totally
sex life.
took it on board. I thought, yep, I know that's real. I know that's right. And he said, yeah, the people who have formed themselves around me, and I was one of them, are the disciples, reincarnated. And I thought, I haven't got a problem with that.
I would argue that the average cult member, although he or she isn't aware of it, is no longer critically able. They're no longer able to critically evaluate. It's as though they can just switch off logic in the person's mind.
Because this is a really good point. I think one of the things that really bothers me about people who analyze cults is that often, or people who armchair analyze cults, experts don't usually do this, is people will victim blame the members of the cult and be like, well, how could you fall into this? How could you let this happen? Why weren't you thinking? This is obviously nonsense. What's wrong with you? Are you just like a sheep? And when you ease someone into it and control the information, like psychological studies have shown that you can convince people to do pretty much anything as long as you control the information they receive and you make them think that you are an authority figure. Like, people defer to authority, and people can be victims of mob psychology so easily. We're social animals. Like, we literally evolved to want to fit in, to want to do what everyone else is doing, to want to follow the leader. It's how we survive, like, threats. Like, if someone says, don't go over there, and they're the smartest person around, you don't go over there because there might be a lion that would eat you. Like, saying that, like, his point about people who fall into cults not really being capable of critical thinking anymore makes sense, because one, the information they have access to is heavily restricted. Two, they're surrounded by people who are, like, pressuring them to keep their thoughts and their emotions in check, and their behavior is being regulated so much. Like, once you take away someone's agency, it's really, really hard for them to kind of claim it back.
And, you know, it's easy to say it's everyone but me, I'd be too strong, but this is exactly the same process that abusers use in relationships. Like, people come out of an abusive relationship, and it's like asking, well, why didn't you see it? Why didn't you see that they were controlling and abusive? It's like, they didn't start that way. They were nice. They were sweet. They took care of you. Like, it develops over time, you know? It's
well, that's
not
what
like,
they do. They earn trust. And I just want to say, adding on to that, that it sounds like to me that most of these cults are no different than the typical Christianity shit, because they're all preying on people that need something bigger and better, something to make them feel better, some kind of like end to the, you know, means to the end kind of thing, you know, the end of where am I going, you know? And I think everybody's looking for that, and they
some of
you know,
that.
You're standing there as a shaman, and the people walk up to you, and you get the touristy people that are like, oh, this is cool, and then you get the person that's like, oh, tell me my fate, you know, and you're like, oh, this one is looking, and that's all they need right there to start the whole thing.
Argument to be made where people are like, oh, all religions are cults. Okay, maybe, but there's something about a super concentrated, distilled control element. Like,
oh yeah,
Christians wish they were in control of everything in the government, but they're not. Okay, that's different, and it's different than your local Baptist church, you know, preaching on Sundays and telling people to go out on the street and evangelize. Then this group that physically isolated people from their families, literally started to exercise thought control over them. The Nexium cult, you know, branded people, you know, started blackmailing them with, you know, personal and sexual and emotional information, all these other things. And the abuse started, you know, once you've gotten emotionally invested in the friends that, you know, are there. So there is a difference between, like, you know, a large institution versus like a small concentrated, you know, community or group.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the difference maybe between a toxic relationship and an abusive relationship. Like, because I think cults are definitely like trying to be abusive, whereas like a toxic workplace or a toxic relationship, is it like, it's less intentional, less controlling, easier to break free of.
Right. And, you know, like you're saying with a toxic person, they have flaws, but they're not addressing them. Versus somebody who's abusive, where all they're doing is putting everything on you. You're responsible for their bad emotional outburst. You're responsible for their bad day. You know, that's two completely different scenarios, you know?
Yeah. And I know far too many like brilliant, smart people who have been in abusive relationships to ever think that, oh, only stupid people can fall for cults.
Definitely
not. I do not find myself stupid, but yet I have been in an abusive relationship. It only took me a few months to get the hell out of it, but it happened to me too. It snuck it right in there.
Yeah,
everything's great.
To the best of us.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not universally a case of people being too stupid or too weak. They might be in terror of their life or safety.
Yep.
So there is not just, oh, well, it's just easy, just leave. It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. Nothing is ever that simple, and people should know better by now. It's never, ever simple.
One thing I've always said is that, and I learned this just from getting to know people who I found out later were in abusive relationships and how they ended up leaving and how all that transpired, was despite the fact that they're in an abusive relationship, they still know what they're going home to every day. There's no fear of the unknown. They know when they walk in the door, he's going to be drunk, demand dinner, probably hit them. They have to clean up right away and make sure everything's good. You know, they don't want to get beat 3 times in a night. Like, they know that's going to happen. But it's better than to walk out the door, be alone, be scared, unfamiliar territory. It's still a form of a safe haven to them. And that's why they stay.
Yeah, that is a part of it for sure.
Also,
they're like a known quantity. You know,
Also-
the badness or the toxicity, it's a known quantity. It's familiar.
Also, there's a lot of financial consideration. Like a lot of times in abusive relationships and in cults, we talked about people having to give over all their possessions. A lot of times in abusive relationships, an abuser will convince their victim to quit their job or to give them access to their finances, or will prey on people who are financially vulnerable. So there's that whole added level of, if you leave, you won't be able to support yourself.
You'll have nothing.
Yep.
That's what unfortunately kept my mother in a bad marriage for a little too long, is because, you know, she had to rely on my father financially for pretty much everything. And when she finally was like, I can't do this anymore. It's not good for me. It's not good for the kids. We were taken in by another family because she didn't have the means to provide housing and food and stuff like that for us on her own. And I honestly, to this day, I've asked her how she did it, and she can't give me a satisfactory response. I'm like, Mom, how did you end up raising 2 kids as a single mom? Like, how? I don't understand.
You know, I was going to say something, but I'll feel like I'm one-upping you, so maybe I'll just skip it.
No, go ahead. It's not a competition.
I am the youngest of 6, and when I was 8 years old, my mother kicked my father out. And that was in 1979. And she said, I want a divorce, kicked his ass out, and he got on his motorcycle with a backpack of just a few essential items, and he left. And she went back to college because we were getting to the point where we were functioning on our own, right? And there was old enough siblings to watch the younger ones like me. So she went back to college and did teaching internship and all that shit, and became a teacher and fought. And I just still, to this day, I was there, I watched it. Don't know how she did it.
Good
Don't
for
know
her.
how. I think she spent a lot of nights crying into her pillow, to be honest with you.
Good for both of you, Mom.
She tried everything not to show it to us. It was amazing.
So, we actually have to go a little bit earlier than we planned. However, stick a pin in this topic. We can come back to it next week. If you guys have any questions for the panel, or if you have some ideas about stuff to bring up for next week, send them to us on Discord or leave a comment below. Totally, we can absolutely come back to this. I'm super excited because this is a great topic, and I feel like we really need to dig in more to that.
Oh, I agree. We haven't even skimmed the surface yet. There's so much, so many layers.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how about we go around the room and see what everybody thought tonight? So what did you think about tonight, B?
I think it's great. I think the couple good takeaways from Crystals. Don't drink the water. Remember to check that don't video. Don't just watch the do's. And I think, like Vishanti was saying, this is something that maybe should be discussed more again, because I feel like people are heading back in cultish directions, and I feel like it's becoming more popular, kind of like the crystals and the, I don't know, Bible or something. So yeah, I think it really needs to be talked about, and I think this is. I think we should just do one whole show on it.
I think so. I think that's a great idea. So how about you, Vishanti? What did you think of tonight?
I love getting into these more socio and psychological topics because humans are really complex, and I find the study of how we behave and think and all that, I find that really fascinating, and I'm always looking for new ways to understand people better so that, you know, I'm more, I guess, aware of the negative elements to socialization, so like either I can avoid it or maybe help others to kind of see it and get out of that stuff. So yeah, I think absolutely we should come back to this. This is super good. M2M, please send us your questions because you're asking the good ones.
Exactly. And I'm thrilled about it too. I love it. So how about you, Astra? What did you think of tonight?
Well, I completely agree with B and Vishanti. I think an episode on cults and on a lot of these like more important issues that are becoming even more prevalent now would be really, really good, and I think it would be fun to do.
I do too.
Other than that, I learned that crystals are basically sex toys.
Anything's a sex toy if you're not a coward.
Anything's a sex toy if you try hard and believe in yourself.
Please don't take that as good advice.
Yeah, please don't be shoving crystals up in certain places.
I'm guessing if it's not okay to drink the water, it's not okay to rub them against a very sensitive, absorbent mucus membrane. Just saying.
Please don't go the Gwyneth Paltrow route, please.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to throw up now.
Please do something sanitized.
There's a reason why the what are they called? Quinoa
Benoit balls.
Yeah. Those. There's a reason they're made out of metal. Stainless steel, baby.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. and don't lick unfamiliar things, okay? Just don't lick windows. You really shouldn't lick windows anyway, especially during a pandemic. Don't lick things that are unfamiliar to you. Don't lick other people, please, unless you know them.
And that's our show, everybody. Buy our merch.
Buy our merch. And wash your damn hands. That's what I got to say tonight.
Maybe we should do like real, like sex advice, the real sex advice from women.
Oh, God.
We'll have to make up a new channel for it. I'm sure we get demonetized
immediately.
So, wait a minute, women can't have opinions. Kill that one.
Exactly. They're talking about private parts. That's it. Demonetized.
Yeah, monetized. All done. So, Dick, what did you think too?
I think that cult one really started something, and everybody should get into it. I also want to point out Geosem was asking, how do I convince my crystal it's okay to go down on me? That's all I need to know. And my response was get a jar of peanut butter. I'm sure you'll figure out the rest.
Peanut butter.
Remember though, cold and scratching.
Take your crystal out for dinner first.
My advice is to make sure it's been tumbled very well before you do that. Nice and smooth.
Flowers and chocolates, third date. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
All right, well,
anyway.
So,
what do you think, Aimee?
Oh, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it was great. I like the one where we learned about what not to do. I'm really excited about the cult thing. I think that would be really something to really dig into. And I also like that chart we had, and I want to dig into that some more too. I want to look into that, the chart about all the conspiracy theories. I really want to kind of get into that too. So I'm excited.
I'd love to
do that on conspiracy. We can do that on cult night
and deconstruct it.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think that would be a good thing too. And I did want to thank everyone in the chat for coming today. Thank you so much. Thank you for enduring all this brain smoothing stuff we watched today with us. So thank you for that. And so thank you. And I wish all of you a great evening, a great morning, wherever you are. And thank you so much. Good night.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. Remember, when it comes to cults, seasons don't fear the reaper.